Hey, welcome Jamal. How are you, man? I'll just make sure we are good to go here. Looks like we're all good. Let me know if you can hear me all right. So if you're seeing the red dots in the title, the stream is live, and if the red dots aren't in the title, you're watching the playback. So I thought I'd mention that at the start, just to make sure. We get a lot of people after the fact that think it's still live. So I'm back to the webcam today so I can play some guitar and have some fun. Quinton, welcome. JJ, how you doing? We've got John, welcome mate. Kevin, how you doing? So I thought I've got a lot of guitars behind me. It doesn't kind of look like it, but there's probably 5 or 6 guitars back here. So, you know, I thought I'd take some questions, have a play, let you know a little bit about what's coming up as well. I'm just sorting out my my stream here. All right, looks good. Let me just pause this. Mr. Kareem, welcome. Jeff, how you doing? Robert, Pork Chop SRV. I always like that name. I say that every time. We got, sorry if I said Robert before. Welcome, mate. Jeremy, Duff, let us know where you're from too, guys, if you're new to the stream. We had a lot of subscribers join up the last couple of days, or about the last week or so. Probably the biggest growth period all year. And I think because of the kind of videos I was putting up, they got a lot of hits. So yeah, if you're new here, let us know where you're from and what made you subscribe. A lot of familiar names here as well, which is awesome. So welcome, guys. Thanks again for the support all year as well. Thanks to Terry for moderating, as well as Sonia and anyone else who helps out with that sort of stuff. I do appreciate that. So I really need to bring this mouse closer, but if I move it closer, the reception of it dies. All right, I'm good. I'm good to go. Let's see if I can get this to work. Oh yeah, it's gonna work. Cool. All right, actually, how about this? How about this? It's not working. Yeah, it's working. All right. I should have got this sorted out. There we go. Done. Got in at the beginning. Welcome, Greg. How you doing? So this is the Little Crow Raven. I haven't been playing this much for no real reason. It's just a great guitar, new strings, and it's a muggy day today, but it's cooler today here, so hands should be loose. I haven't played guitar pretty much all week, which is the first. I played live Sunday and just took some time off. I thought, you know what, just to refresh the musical juices and all that kind of stuff. Plus, you know, when I sanded that guitar, it kind of like wrecked my arms and my hands for a few days as well. So I thought, you know, when I reliced the guitar, I should say, and I got that behind me too. So if you want to check that out, we can plug that in as well. I hope everyone had a good Christmas, all that kind of stuff as well. And if you, whatever you're doing for New Year's, be safe. John says, how am I liking the Atom speakers? I like them a lot. You know, I've still got my Rocket KRKs on the floor over here. I'm not going to put them back up unless something stops working. Yeah, these are much more balanced. I much prefer the sound of these. It's not even close. I think for what you pay, they're a really well-balanced studio monitor. And the live mix I did for the live gig that I posted on YouTube, that was all done on these monitors. So that was kind of like my first proper attempt at sort of mixing and mastering something on these speakers, and I like it a lot. Did I ever buy a Boss Katana? That's from SFV1001. I'm not going to say that again, as in the name of your username's confusing. No, I never bought one. I borrowed one off my friend Rob, who's a good mate, great player, and yeah, he let me borrow his, and I think I did a video of one on when we were doing the Sky Music YouTube channel as well, and that was the Shops one, which was the Katana Artist. So I never owned one. I thought about it a few times, but I got enough stuff. You know, there's a certain point in time where I don't like to buy stuff just to like have on the wall. I buy stuff to use it, and if once it starts not getting used, I really think about moving it along. So for me, yeah, I don't know if there's really a place in my sort of like live gigging rig for a katana. I've kind of got everything I need covered. You know, I've got a Bandit, I got the Mustang, say what you will about it, but I can get some good tones out of it live. And I've got the Studio Pro 112, which now has the Texas heat in there, and it's a monster. So yeah, I'm kind of done, you know, like I don't really feel like I need one. Not that they're a bad amp, I just don't feel like I need one. And I don't like having stuff just to have sit around. I'm not that sort of guy. So yeah, I'm using the Studio 22 Boogie profile on the Kemper that I made on my mate's amp as well. It's a bit more gain than I would like normally, but you know, we'll switch it up as we go. Jamal says, I had a chance to play the V a couple of days ago. I'm in love. I thought you bought that guitar. Did you not buy it? I thought you bought it already. Or do you mean you just actually had some time to play it? So yeah, man, those Flying Vs, they make Lefties now. I can't wait to get my hands on one. I had a chat to the guys at Sky, and I said to them, you know, if you get one in, I'd love to try one. So yeah, Flying V, man. You know, there's a couple of guys back here. Where is he? Here. Michael Burks, monster, very reminiscent of Albert King. Probably a better player than Albert King overall, like much more versatile. I love Albert, right? Albert's my favorite, but Michael Burks is a monster. He died, unfortunately, about 2 years ago. Great player. Also played the Flying V. He's, you know, one of his heroes, obviously, Albert King. Yeah, I just think they're really cool. So we'll see how we go. If I like the Flying V and it's something I can add to my arsenal of stuff I'm going to actually play live, I will. I had a Flying V, right? So I actually own one. I posted a picture on my feed maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago from when I had hair. So it was spike and it was all gelled up in the middle. So it was maybe 2005 or something. I can't remember, whenever it was. And yeah. You know, it was a rockin' looking guitar. I just didn't like the finish on the back of that neck. It was too lumpy and it was sticky. It was a really sticky neck. And I didn't know enough about guitars probably back then to know that I could have sanded it and got better results. So I flipped it because of that. I loved it. The only other thing too was the case was huge. So if you've ever seen a Flying V, you know, they obviously go out like in that reverse V sort of thing. But the case is even bigger, so it's a bizarre box. It's really awkward carrying them to some extent in a hard case because they want to lean one way, I think, towards the back. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Flying Vs. I want to find one that I love and that I know that I'll keep. I don't have any Gibsons. It's odd, you know, like I've got the Tokai stuff and all that, but I don't have any Gibsons, and that's just the way it's kind of worked out, unfortunately. I really want one that I love. So fingers crossed the Gibson Flying V will be the one to go for, and that it'll be awesome. So I'm not going to order one from overseas. I really want to play it locally and make sure I'm happy with it. A lot of people will are happy doing that, but I'm so fussy that I need to make sure that I like not only the tone of it, but just more so how it feels when I'm standing up and playing, because you can't really sit down and play them unless you're doing that, the banjo sort of thing. All right, we've got guys from Russia here. Semen, is that how you pronounce it? We've got Neth. Greetings from Canada. What do you think of the stainless steel frets? So you own one? Yeah, I've got stainless steel frets in that Telecaster right there. Best investment I ever made. Any of the guitars I'm keeping long term. Like, I don't have any plans on flipping the PRSSE. When the time comes for me to refret that, I'll put stainless steel frets in, or I'll have it done. I don't like doing that myself, but they don't wear out, so it's a great investment. If you've got a guitar that you love, go do it. It is more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. So that's the Finger Ease spray. talking about Albert before. Man, Albert's awesome. Not that I can really replicate it, but you know, I pinched a few of his licks over the years, and yeah, I'm a huge fan of Mr. Albert King. No doubt about it. I love his vocal too. I think his vocal is one of the things that might not get enough appreciation. You know, like he's not only a great guitar player, but he's a phenomenal singer. Just his vibrato and his voice is better than all of them, I reckon. Like he's just got this really great quality in his voice, you know. You know, it's just inherent almost of the Black American guys. You know, I remember when I played in the US, I played in San Francisco, Texas, and just guys at jams, man, they had the best vocals. You know, it just was legit. It was great. And it almost seemed like they didn't even have to try, you know, and it's just one of those things. But Albert, you know, he's just got this tonality in his vocal, and that's why I like Michael Burke so much. Check out a song called "Empty Promises." It'll give you chills. And he's one of the few blues guys out there who oh, my mic is spiking a bit. Sorry. He's one of the few blues guys out there who's also he used to play active EMG pickups, and it was great. Like, so you know, it's one of those things. Lost Smoke, welcome. We've got lots of people here already, 86 people. Welcome, guys. If you enjoyed the live stream, give it a thumbs up while you're here. Appreciate that. We've got Night Rider Band. Welcome. It says alcohol. I must have missed something. That was some sloppy stuff. All right, Matty K, thanks, man. Appreciate that. I put your name in the title of the last live stream. Thanks to the super chat. That's crazy. Hey, Shane, Dr. Rick, and the rest of the crew. Just a shout out to say Happy New Year. Thanks for all the licks, mate, so to speak. Thanks, I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for all the support as well. I really appreciate it. You know, you've been a great supporter of the channel this year, mate, and yeah, I do appreciate you being around. If I can ever help you, mate, shoot me an email as well. You never ask for anything in return on these super chats, but if you do ever need anything, mate, just feel free to email me or anybody in theblues@outlook.com, or you can reach me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way these days, and Facebook I check maybe once a week. I don't have a personal account on there anymore, just one to manage my pages. So I'm a bit slow getting back, and the volume of questions on Facebook's pretty tough, but you can find me in theblues_ on Instagram as well. So thanks for that again, Matty K. Appreciate it. Love that tone and chord arrangement. Oh, thanks, man. I was just noodling around, sort of like a 9th and a 13th chord. Frank Grimes, welcome. How you doing? Aloha from Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii bad. So next year I turn 40 in June, right? Believe it or not, or maybe I look 50 already. Who knows? But I don't feel it. I feel great. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in as of right now. Arguably, I'm not maybe as anaerobically as fit as I'd like to be, but I think physically I'm at least probably the strongest I've ever been. I think I am actually. I lifted 100 kilos so on the bench recently, and I'm 70, so that's the equivalent of 220 pounds, and I weigh like 145. So, you know, I'm pretty, I feel good. So anyway, the point was I'd really want to go somewhere and enjoy my birthday somewhere. So I reckon Hawaii might be the place to go, man. I've been to the airport, but I've never been anywhere else. So welcome. Red House, do a few Jimmy licks. I'll give it a go, absolutely. We've got final thoughts on the Tonka versus Texas Heat and the DSL. Tonka all day. As never coming out of that amp. Look, the Texas Heat was okay, but it changed the amp too much for my liking. It made it way too dark and way too bass heavy as well. The Tonka is like a great speaker to have. Just, you can set the EQ at 12 and get a good sound. With the Texas Heat, I found I had to turn the bass all the way out and run the treble right up, and on that amp, that's kind of weird. So, yeah, I love the Texas Heat. In a Fender amp or a Peavey or any of these other amps, they're great. But in the Marshall, it changed the sound of it too much. So Tonka all day. Thanks for the super chat, Mick. I appreciate that. Hope that helped. I did put a follow-up. I think on one of my most recent podcasts, I had a chat about that. Not the most, like the best and worst stuff of 2018, but there's a prior podcast I had a chat about that exact topic, actually. So if you're watching the replay, I'll put a link here somewhere. Where's Dr. Rick? He's probably at work. Unfortunately, he doesn't get much of a break over this time of year. So that's the Hendrix lick, that one. So if you're bending up on the B, you want to catch it, you want to sort of move your finger a little bit and catch the G string. I had to give a shout out to this guy, Grayson, who I pinched that off in San Francisco. Yeah, I was staying at his place with my friend Ed. And he used to play that lick all the time, and I couldn't work it out. I said to him, how do you do that? And he showed me. So that's a really cool... Yeah, it sounds weird on its own, but when you play it like... Yeah, it's a really great slow blues lick. I love playing it over slow blues. Hey Shane, got to take off. Thanks for all the content. Looking forward to seeing where you go in 2019. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Have a good day. We've got our BV Ninja. Welcome. How you doing? Thanks again for the support this year too, BV. I appreciate that. We've got Metal Stage O. Welcome. Come out here and I'll take you and you and your crew for a surf and a jam. Well, my crew is me, so that makes it easy. It sounds good, man. I reckon Hawaii would be awesome. You know, the older I get, the more I'm starting to think maybe I should move up north where it's sunny. Hey, Metal Stage O, give me a metal riff. All right, so I know one metal riff, and I'll play that for you, mate. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks a lot. All right, so this is one of my White Zombie riffs that everybody's probably heard a million times, but it's the only one that I kind of know. I do know a couple of Metallica ones, but I suck at it, so... There you go. That's about the extent of it. My goal for this year is to learn something just something different. I love White Zombie and Rob Zombie stuff. Always have. I remember when I first heard Thunder Kiss 65, it was on a movie called Brain Scan, which is still one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen that and you're into sort of horror, sci-fi kind of movies, go watch it. It's a killer. And I remember hearing that... you know, Thunder Kiss, and I had that going on in the background. I was like, what is this song? So I got to the end of the titles. This is before any app that could detect the songs, right? So I like scroll through the credits on slow-mo at the end, trying to find like what artist that was. And there was like lots. And I didn't know there was a soundtrack either. I'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, I ended up finding it was White Zombie. So I was like, oh, this is great. So I bought the soundtrack and they had a remix version on that album, which sucked. So it was like a techno remix thing. So then I bought Le Sexorcisto, which is a killer album. I reckon that as an entirety is one of the most solid albums of all time if you're into like heavy rock or whatever. It's you know, from start to end, the whole thing is awesome. And I can't say that about a whole lot of albums. There's a few that I think are pretty solid all the way through, but That's one that you can just play and you don't go, oh, this song, I'm going to skip it. You know, like it's just great. So yeah, I'd like to learn some more of those kind of heavy riffs next year. We'll see how we go. We need more Dr. Ricky rocks. Yeah, we'll definitely be doing more with him coming up. You know, him and I don't live close to each other either. So, well, it's not that far, but it's kind of like, it's just an awkward thing in a big city. You know, like trying to make time and then drive. It takes an hour when, you know, the traffic's okay. And then it gets way worse when it's not. So we do have more stuff coming up. We're going to be doing more live gigs next year as well, maybe once every other month or something like that, and trying different gear live and having some fun and just doing what we do, because that's what it's about. Any final year comments or tips on the Katana Artist? Great amplifier. If you look, they're pretty much they're a solid amp. They're not that dissimilar sounding to the Katana 100, in my opinion. Like what I think gives it the advantage is the bigger cabinet and the better speaker. I say better meaning like the boutique speaker. Still doesn't sound that much different, but they're light, they're loud. You can plug in and get a good sound out of them without needing to really go to the computer. That's my only hesitation with some of the Katana stuff, is if you set it up at home and then you take it out and play it live, it doesn't always sound like how you would expect. So my suggestion would be to, if you do play live or you plan on it, set up the amp at gig volume. So have it loud, make sure everything sounds good, take it out and you should be fine. Then if you need any adjustments, it's a lot easier. You don't want to have to hook an amp up to a computer to tweak. I think that's, you know, a bit of a, not a limitation, but just something that's a little frustrating. But overall, great amps. I like them a lot. Guitar Hack, welcome mate, how you doing? Thanks for the shout out on your live stream the other day. That was cool, very nice of you. Check out his channel, guys. Am I the only one whom the video stopped for? It may be. I've still got the green light here, so it should still be all good. Robert Baker, he's back. How are you, man? Welcome. So, Robert, I'm waiting on that video that I'm not going to give away on my live stream. I can't wait to see it. I hope you're still going to do it. And I encourage you to do it. So I'm not the only one. So yeah, shoot me a text, man, when it goes live, and I can't wait to check it out. I mean, I'm subscribed anyway, but you know, our time differences are a bit awkward sometimes. All right, hey, we've got is it IncuFish23? Is that how you say that? Cheers from the USA. You're one of my guitar heroes, man. I don't know about that, but thank you so much. Hit year 2 of my guitar journey in November. Loving the videos and improving. That's great, man. Thanks so much for the kind words. I think the trick is to improving is listen to the stuff you want to learn and learn the stuff you want to play. You know, look, a lot of guys will teach you a lot of, if you go to get lessons, for example, you might learn a lot of stuff that will put you off playing. I mean, this isn't theory-based stuff, and it could be that too, but I'm talking about it, you know, if you get lessons, get someone who plays that style of music, or just source out the stuff that you want to learn. Like, I was really narrow-minded when it came to learning guitar. I was like, I just love, you know, Eric, B.B. King, Albert King, Robert Cray, T-Bone, all these guys, you know, any of these blues guys. And later on it moved into other areas. But yeah, for me, it was like, this is what I want to learn. So that's all I listened to. You know, I went through all of that music and tried to pick the best bits out of it. So yeah, if you're into blues, man, that would be the way to go. And I think a lot of guys do that. And try to not just to completely replicate everybody or one person in particular. Try to get bits out of everything. So yeah, great stuff, man. Thanks again. I appreciate that. I like anything that wants to make me shake my booty. Yeah, that's cool. guitar's great. So the cool thing about this axe, on both pickups, it's different to how it would normally be. Let's have a listen. So that real quacky sound, so that's either parallel or, I always get them confused. Then you got this push-pull thing. So yeah, it's got some different options, this guitar. It's got a, you know, I'm starting to come around to that sound. I never really used it much, and then I heard it back in the context of a live mix. My friend Rick recorded some on his phone, and I went, you know what, that's pretty sweet. Haha, definitely in the works. That's great, Robert. I can't wait to check it out, man. That's rocking. So yeah, this is called the, for those who have just joined, this is the Little Crow Raven. We just got asked what it was from Brian. So yeah, it's an Australian-made guitar. Dual Australian humbuckers from a guy called Mick Briley. Probably, or arguably, one of the best pickup manufacturers that I've ever heard. Like, he makes great stuff. These humbuckers really sing. When you hear this, and then you go over to my Tokai Love Rock, they sound like this has just got a lot more snap on the top end. It's pretty sweet. Adam EVH, welcome. How you doing? All right, so I am streaming on my new modem today. We'll see how we go. If it did stop, I apologize for that. I didn't see it go anything but green stream health here, so we'll see how we go. Is that a Joyo zombie? It is, yeah, I've got that right behind me. The video of that will be up next year. I haven't shot it yet. This one, the Jackman, went up the other day. I love that thing. I actually really like this one a lot as well. So you'll be hearing it through the Marshall 2x12. I picked that up about 3 weeks ago maybe now. And a lot of people were asking me, is that the MX 2x12? It is. I didn't even know. I thought it was part of the DSL range. So yeah, I need to make a correction on one of my live streams about that. It is, the model number is MX something something, and I didn't know that. It didn't come with any information, and I didn't get the box. I didn't want the box either, so I just plugged it in, heard it, and went, wow, this is cool. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing the... Actually, Rick said he wanted to do the demo of this, so I don't mind. I'll just do all the editing. But yeah, it's a rocking little amp. I love it. I really wish I sort of kept the other ones now, but I had the Fender and the Vox one. I kind of wish I had kept them all. Am I still smoking on that Harley Benson? So I've got that right behind me here. Should we break it out and unleash the fury that is the Relic community here? Not here, but just in general. Let's give it a tune. I played this last Sunday night. I took it out live. 2 of my friends had Relic guitars. And I tell you what, under stage lights, it didn't look too dissimilar at all. Alright, so that's the finished product. If you missed my follow-up video, I stained the neck, stained the body with this black stuff. And same with the all the nicks and crannies and all the stuff that I dinted, and yeah, it looks cool. Well, I like it, but it's not for everybody, and I get why. Alright, wow, we've got a few people here. Wow, 140. Welcome, guys. And I'm way behind on the chat. I'll just scroll down here. So coming up next weekend, I'm not going to release it this weekend. I've had a lot of videos go up, so I'll just kind of like, yeah, see at the end of the year, probably with this video. I think I got one scheduled before the end of the year, but Guitar Search Saturday is back next Saturday. I had they're such a big job. So yeah, we've got one more from Copenhagen, and then the next lot will be from Germany. So I'll also do some Australian ones coming up pretty soon too, but I think you're in for a bit of a treat. This next one that's up next Saturday is insanely good. It's got it's a multi-level place. It's got everything and a little Fender museum in there as well as like the best Gibson room I've ever seen. So if you get a chance, check it out. It'll be up next Saturday. Have I had a chance? This is from Frank Grimes. Have I had the chance to try out the overly hyped Boss Next Tone range of amps? Curious where they sit compared to the Katana or Blues Cubes. Not yet, no. I have a feeling what I'll probably do over the next few months. I had a chat to the guys at Sky. Like I've obviously Rick and I aren't doing their videos anymore for their channel, but they offered to let me borrow anything I like, and I've had so many requests for that. And I want to do some of the new Vox amps look really good too. So I think I'll have a chance to kind of get some of these new amps and maybe do some comparison videos as well, and sort of see how they go. So yeah, stay tuned. I should be able to get my hands on any of the Boss stuff, any of the Vox, Fender, any of that stuff again coming up. I'm not going to overdo it though. Probably maybe one video a week from the stuff that I borrow. And I've got some different content I want to try next year as well. So all being well, it should all work. And now that I've got this internet connection upgrade thing, it might make doing some of these things I want to try a whole lot easier. So yeah, it should be hopefully a fun new year. We'll see how we go. Thanks, Shane. Love your style. For me, have a song list and technique book working well for me. That's good. Everyone learns differently too. Some people learn really well through like books, and some people learn really well just through listening to stuff, or some people learn a lot by seeing it as well. And I'm one of those kind of guys. If I can see a lick, I can pick them from ear, right? If it's in the style of what I already play. But if I can see someone play something, then I know exactly what's going on. I connect the dots a whole lot easier that way. I'm not one for the books, but I read, but I don't sort of get. When it comes to guitar, I like to hear and see stuff. That's just the way I work. All right, that's a sharp-looking guitar. Thanks, Guitar Hack. I appreciate that. This is my my self-reliced job here that. Oh man, I can't believe how popular that video is for my channel. It's done really well, and the retention rate. Even we get all these analytics in the back end of YouTube to say like what's the average viewership rate on a video, and that was huge. Even I think a lot of the people that didn't like the whole Relic thing sat there and watched me brutalize this poor thing. But I love it. I think it's great. Like it's come up cool, and seeing it in comparison to actually like really expensive guitars, I kind of went, it holds up all right. Look, the fretboard job isn't as good as what I would have loved, but everything else on it rocks. The back is easily as good as some of the expensive Relic jobs I've seen, and not because I did it, but because I've compared it now to two different guitars. I've compared it to a Fender, and I've also compared it to a Nash Guitars Telecaster, and I reckon the back, how it looks now, is really, really close. What key was I in? I was in B. Something really weird about doing something like this to a guitar, I said this maybe on my follow-up video, it makes it feel more like yours because you've contributed to the way it looks. All right, Moyle, take it easy, man. Practice amp, I'll get to that in a sec. James, thanks, mate, I appreciate that. Happy Christmas from Canada. Boogie Fillmore 50. I've heard good things about those amps. I've never tried one. So unfortunately, I can't tell you. When I was in Sweden, I saw one, and Is it like the Cream Tolex Boogie? Is that one? Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried one, so I do apologize. If there's any other questions you have, mate, let us know. But yeah, let me just double check that. What I'll do, I'll just do a quick search here and see if I can find a picture. Let me just let me do this. Ah, okay, all right. Yeah, I definitely haven't tried one of those, mate. Sorry, I'm just looking at the photos here. It looks awesome. Ah, okay. So they do make like maybe the one I'm thinking of is this wooden one. Yeah. All right. So these look great. I just haven't actually. Let me see if this is going to work. I've got this set up, so hopefully I can share like stuff with everybody. Let's see if this works. Is this going to work? No, it's only going to show the chat because something went wrong. That's all right. Yeah, so unfortunately I can't share that with everybody, but I haven't tried one, mate. They look like awesome amps. If I saw this amp somewhere, I'd be tempted. It does look really, really nice. I just realized something as well. I just want to maybe fix something here. My webcam looks a little bit out of whack. It's out of focus. Yay. Autofocus is enabled. Is it going to make any difference? It's going to make no difference. Awesome. Maybe I'm just used to my other camera now. Anyway, that's enough of that boring stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, thanks for the super chat, mate, but I don't know that amp. I haven't played one. I'm sure it would kick ass. Have I tried the Mac Mull axes from Robbie? No. You know what? I reckon their headstocks aren't that bad. They're not pretty, but I don't know. I like different. Different's kind of cool. I used to hate everything that wasn't Fender or Gibson. Now I kind of like, I don't know, man. I reckon this little Crow headstock's up there with some of the best. I reckon that looks pretty cool. I like the PRS one. There's just lots that I like now, and I don't even think twice about the headstock once I play them. So if it's a nice feeling guitar to play, it's a good guitar to buy. And if you like the sound of it and all that kind of stuff. So what was the other question I missed before? Tracy says, not a fan of Relics, but that one does look kind of nifty. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Someone asked me a question about best practice amp. Need to keep to a quiet level. You know what? I did a video about my best and worst stuff of 2018, and I did a video on the Mua Hornet. It's a digital modeling amp, perfect for home. Great tones. You can dial in some delay and some chorus and some of those kind of effects if you want. You can save your favorite setting, or you can use it like an analog amp. It's got all the controls on the top. You don't need a computer to get things out of it. Great low volume amplifier. Really cool. Small, lightweight, comes with its own like external power supply thing. It's really cool. That's kind of like, that is my go-to if I'm just jamming around. You know, I got the Bugera V5 Infinium out again the other day and had to play because I hadn't played it for a while. I was like, man, this is still really great. But if you don't want to be loud, I would recommend the other one. If you're after a tube amp, the V5 Infinium's hard to beat if you want an all-in-one combo. If you've already got a speaker box, you could think about getting like a, you know, even this what's it called? The Harley Benson HB, what's it? 5TH. That's a 5 watt amp, and you can switch it down to 1 watt or 0.1 watt. Now, a lot of companies do that. Bugera does that as well. That amp I bought back there, that also goes from 1 watt to 0.1 watts. So there's that advantage too. You don't want more than 1 watt valve if you're going to be playing at home, and you don't want to be loud because 1 watt is louder than you probably imagine it is. And it all comes down to the speaker size and cab too. So the bigger the speaker, the louder that will be. If I was to run a 1 watt amp, which I've done, into the Marshall 2x12, it's going to be pretty loud. Fretboard looks pretty great from here. Thanks for that, Brian. I appreciate that. Look, it looks okay. It just, it didn't come up the way that I was hoping. I haven't tried the whole tea bag thing yet. You know, people saying put wet tea bags on there and sort of stain between the yellow and this black stuff, you know, and I think that's something I'm definitely going to try. I'll do that when I need to change the strings. I'm not gonna, strings are expensive here, so I don't like to just continually sort of like take them off, ruin them, put them back on. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, cheers, man. I appreciate that. I'm really happy with it as well. Sounds awesome, man. Playing this out live, it was as steely as any of the high-end tallies in the room. It sounded awesome, man. I almost don't think it matters anymore. It really doesn't. If you're confident and comfortable and you can pull your sound out of, you got a good amp, obviously. If you can use almost anything and it will sound good. As long as the pickups are good and all that kind of stuff. And in terms of what I like, this gave me the sound I like. It was almost cleaner than I was used to. What do I think about the new Fender Performance Series Strats and Tallies? You know what? I haven't seen them yet. They're not in shops here yet. I hear they're coming in pretty soon, so when they do, I'll try my best to do some videos. Oh man, we had 2 really hot days here, like 38 degrees Celsius, which is about 106, I think. Someone can do the conversion, 104, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. So even though it's cool outside today, my place is just cooking. It is a hot day, so the condensation on the Pepsi Max is insane right now. Here's a good question. Guitar Hack says, have I found any good use for a phaser pedal? Yeah, you traded in for a delay. No, look, for what I play, mate, phaser's a useless effect. And look, if you're playing songs that need that sound and they have that on the recording, what is it? What's that song from Barracuda? Does that have a phaser? Or if you're playing some of the what's the dude's name? Van Halen stuff. You might kind of want that. No, phaser's all right. Look, you can get some good funk tones out of it. But yeah, I'd prefer to use a wah pedal if I'm going for that over anything else. I just don't think for what I play, like blues, funk, and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really works. But I'd rather have a wah pedal. So for me, that's not a sound I'll ever use on my board. I do use like Leslie style sounds, and I find that's usually a better sound for what I like. But it's all subjective stuff. I guess it just depends on what you're playing. I'm not reading that out, guitar OCD, but it's hilarious. Hey, this is from Lost Smoke. Hey, I'm the lone guitarist in my band, so I play rhythm and lead. It's a 12-inch radius and jumbo frets, a decent choice for my next guitar. Yeah, these kind of questions, it all comes down to what you like. If you're not sure on what you like, then this isn't a yes or no question. You just got to make sure that you enjoy the feel of the guitar. You like the sound, and if the neck and the jumbo frets is what you're into, then go for it. I mean, I'm a big fan of bigger frets. I don't like small frets. I think they don't last long. And if you're playing a lot, then you'll wear through them too fast. I bought this out for a reason today. I knew this was going to be a problem. All right, let's try that. See if we get some sound. So who wants to see me relic this? What do you reckon? No way. Not a chance. Not a chance. I think, yeah, someone just said, man, that's hot. Yeah, it was brutal. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. I know 30's 90, give or take. So, yeah, anyway, that's in relation to the temperature there. I like small frets, I cannot lie. Hey, there's nothing wrong with liking them. It just depends on, it's all subjective stuff, you know. 40 degrees here in West Sydney for the next few days. That's brutal. We're going to get that as well. Pork Chop SRV mentioned smoke, so, you know, I just had to throw in a little bit of that. Old Guy Guitar Vlog says, does the Mill Hornet sound good at bedroom volume? That's all it sounds good at. It doesn't do loud. It's a great little amp. I use it all the time when I don't want to be loud at night, or I think you can plug headphones in. I've never tried that. I always find like the headphone option on any of these sort of amps sucks. You don't get that speaker sound, but at a low volume they're really, really good. Maybe next time I do a live stream, I'll get it out. It's over here actually, and I'll mic it up because it'll be, actually I should have done that today. That would have been cool. Move this cable here. Yeah, because it won't get in the way of the microphone still. It's not that sort of amp, it's not that loud. Negative 20 where I live in Siberia. Wow. Negative 20 Celsius. You know, the coldest I've been in a long time was in Boston in November, right? So it's not even like the coldest time of the year. It was -5, I think, one night. And I walked outside, I was like, oh man, how do people live like this? So negative 20 is crazy. I know it gets close to that over there in the US as well. Maybe, yeah, it'd be negative 20 easy. So, wow, mate, I don't envy you, but I admire your strength, because negative 20 is brutal. It's cold here in England for what it's worth. Yeah, I got a friend in England, and she was saying that it's not as cold as it normally would be. Maybe there's a bit of snow, but it hasn't hit its peak yet. All right, let me, I don't know what this means, but someone asked me to say something. I just want to Google it and see what it actually translates to before I say it. If anyone else knows, let me know. Let me have a look here. I'm always reluctant to say stuff in another language if I don't understand what it is. Let's have a look. I don't know what that means, so it looks like we're good. Looks like it's a safe word. Someone said, can I say Chopper al Coco? There you go. That's as good as I'm going to get with that. Do I hate being a lefty? I do. I used to, but there's so many options now that, look, it does suck in terms of, you know, any guitar store you walk into, odds are, you know, it's 90% right-handed guitars. It's understandable. I kind of get it, but you know, there are specialty left-handed shops where you can get a lot of custom stuff that they get made in that's pretty much the same if you can afford it. You know, it is expensive being a lefty. Schizo in Stereo is just asking about the studio monitors. So that was the first question I actually had on the live stream, and I went over that for a couple of minutes. So if you want, you can skip back to probably 1 minute in, and that will be where I talk about the studio monitors. But overall, I like them a lot. I don't have any plans on replacing them back with my old ones. They're not as loud as my, one thing I didn't mention is they're not as loud as the KRK Rockets, but they sound way better. There's 10% left-handed people, isn't there? Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is, there's a lot more lefties than people realize. Like, there's a lot of left-handed guitars out there that, a lot of left-handed players out there will play right-handed guitars because they learnt that way. I have a feeling in the next sort of like 20 years, it's going to balance itself out way more. I have a feeling people will follow their instinct when it comes to which way they want to play, because I think slowly and surely there's going to be more left-handed guitars available. There just is. I don't know that song language. I apologize. Yeah, I don't know that one. It's just power chords, but it's a great song. What was it? What's it called? 5 More Minutes. Yeah, I don't know that one, man. Sorry. I taught a lefty to play righty. Now he's gigging. There you go. Well, I mean, look, Mark Knopfler's that way. He's a left-handed person, plays right-handed. There's lots of those guys out there. Reverend makes some good lefties. Yeah, absolutely. I got a chance to play 3 Reverend guitars like 4 years ago or something, and at Jerry's, and they're nice, you know. And one of the guitars I've got here at the moment, actually, I should probably get. You know what? I'm gonna get it out. I haven't played it for a little while. Let me just grab this. This guitar rocks. Someone asked, is this stock? I think, yeah, it is. It's all stock. I might be replacing the neck pickup coming up on it. I want something with a bit more bite. Whoa! Let me just move this around. I want something with a little bit... Oh, what am I getting stuck on here? Seriously? Man, hopefully I didn't break my mic. Yeah, I'd like something with a little more bite on it, to be honest, but, you know, it's not bad. It's not every guitar needs to be the toppiest guitar in the collection, you know. I think that's the thing that I'm so used to the PRS that it's sort of spoilt me in a way in terms of how bright those pickups are, as well as the Raven. The Raven's great. So this is the guitar that's, I think, made at the same factory as the Reverend guitars. It's the Pure Salem, which, you know, as soon as I played this, I felt at home on it. It was pretty cool. That's all right, mate. He can... Thanks, BV. Someone's trying to be funny. It means, yeah, I saw that. It's all good. He can do that. So yeah, this is pretty much the same as Reverend guitars in terms of quality and... Woo! I love the bridge pickup. You know, we've had like 2 brutally hot days, things still in tune. Oh, stupid cable. Here we go. Oh, it's almost in tune. It's close. This thing. All right, let me go back up here. Daniel says, I write left-handed but play right-handed, all because I was handed my mum's right-handed Maton as a kid to play. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of that happens. I mean, look at all the guys like, who was I thinking of before? Doyle Bramall, I think, and all these guys just picked the guitar up, played it opposite way round, you know, left all the strings the same, but they're playing left-handed, but they're playing upside down. So yeah, there's all of these weird sort of nuances when it comes to how people ended up playing the certain way. Look, I think if I was to, it depends. If someone's seriously left-handed dominant like I am, then I would just encourage them to play left-handed. I don't know if there's a benefit for trying to fight your natural instincts, but you know, it just depends. If you're not the most, if you don't have a lot of dexterity anyway, like just inherently, like if one hand you can sort of move quicker than the other one, or they both feel the same, it probably doesn't matter too much, you know. But I always felt like if I was to change hands, my left hand, which is, you know, it does all my rhythm stuff, doesn't have the dexterity of my right hand. I don't know if it's all the years playing games or what, but I can sort of tap my fingers way quicker. Not that I play fast, but there's something to be said about like the movement in my left hand kind of doesn't, it's got a different sort of set of skills. it's weird. It always just felt right to play this way. Todd says he's seeing more lefty guitars all the time. Yeah, absolutely. And the shop that the next Guitar Search Saturday's at, anytime, this is a great point, like if there's left-handed people that work in the shop, generally they've got a lot of lefties, or more than normal. Kind of digging this boogie patch today. I'm sort of getting used to the amount of dirt. It's cool. Sean Adams from Arizona, welcome mate, thanks for that. Play my PRS, the PRS is right behind me. So what have I got here? I've got the 52 Tele, I've got the Tokai, I've got the Little Crow Kestrel, which is this guy. I've got this guitar, the Pure Salem, the Harley Benton, the Raven, and the PRS. That's everything that I've got out right now. Oh, the PRS is in the bag, but it's there. So happy to switch guitars if need be. What delay is that? So I'm running into the Kemper, and it's an analog delay set up on the profile I made. So any of the Kemper profiles I made are stuff that I own or things that I've borrowed off a friend, and that's pretty much the only amp I think I've profiled that it wasn't mine. So that's the Boogie Studio 22, sorry, not the Studio Pro. And it's got, I think it's just it's just the delay, just an analog delay, sort of, just got a bit of repeats there. Almost sounds more like a digital one, actually. Oh, no, I think it's... Tell you what, let's crank up the mix and we'll crank up the feedback. Sorry, I forgot I was streaming. I like that. That's awesome. So that's a whole lot of delay on there now. Are there any genres of music you don't like to play? Hang on. You like but don't play often? Yeah. So, that I like to play but don't play often. I think there's specific songs that I enjoy playing that I don't get to play often. I do like some classic rock stuff as well to some extent, but I don't want to do a gig of that. It doesn't excite me. I like doing the improv, the blues or original sort of stuff. You know, that's a mix of all different feels and styles and all that kind of thing. But no. I'm pretty stubborn. I like to play what I enjoy, and that's kind of why I started my band, you know, because I was like, oh, this is what I want to play. I don't want to have to be at the mercy of playing other stuff. So a lot of the stuff I play now, if I'm doing my originals, it's a mix of blues, rock, and rootsy sort of stuff, a whole lot of different sounds. So, the blues thing's always the core, and I love playing blues. You know, if it's done right or done well, it's fun. You know, like I get a kick out of it. The dynamics is great and all that kind of stuff. But Pat, welcome, mate. I know you've already told you, but amazing year this year. Thanks for all the awesome content. Here's to an awesome 2019. Thanks, mate. I appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. And I hope you got your super reverb sorted out. I know you had a glitchy valve in there. It's a pretty easy fix. Just tap them and see which one's making some weird noises. It should be pretty easy to diagnose. In the States, there's more guitar shops with Lefty guitars. Yeah, absolutely. And there's also all the specialty ones there. Pretty much all in Florida too, like, and one in Texas. But yeah, I think there's 3 specialty Lefty shops in Florida and Southpaw Guitars in Texas. Hey Shane, I saw the live stream starting up but had to go out for a bit, but now I'm back. Welcome, mate. That's from T-Tone. I was about to say T-Bone. Do I do all my own setup and mods? On the most part, look, the only thing I don't really do these days is, look, Rick's helped me with stuff that's troubled me, and my friend Brian, who's a huge help when I try to wire something up and it doesn't work and I don't know why. He's a huge help when it comes to that stuff. So on the most part, I give it a go. There's not a whole lot you can really do wrong. If something's really brutal or something's really wrong, I'll take it to somebody. I usually get a second opinion from Brian or Rick, see if they know how to fix it, and then I'll basically just take it somewhere. But I haven't taken a guitar in to get serviced in ages. It's probably been 2 years. The last time I got some work done, actually, I shouldn't say that. I got the nut replaced on the 52 Tele because I'd never done it and I didn't want to risk it. And then I realized how easy it was. And the guy, the idiot who fixed it, he cut it okay, but he didn't sand it off. And the thing was so sharp, man. I cut my freaking finger on it when I got it back. But yeah, and I got the frets replaced in that guitar as well. So those kind of jobs like fret replacement, I'm not even going to bother. I'd rather take it to someone, although it's expensive, get it done, and then I don't have to stress about ruining anything. In terms of just changing pickups, it's a pretty easy process. If you've ever used a soldering iron or you know your way around it, if you don't, you can learn. There's great tutorials on all of this sort of stuff. Ben Heck's show used to have some really great soldering tutorials. It's where I learned how to do a lot of my stuff. Ben, welcome, mate. How you doing? Can I play bass? I can play bass. I play bass on all of my backing tracks. So I play it live occasionally as well. I got one over here. I don't know if we want to hear some of that. But I've actually got a pretty sweet bass profile on this thing as well. Could break that out just to mix it up. What gear am I looking forward to in 2019? Any inside scoops for NAMM? I don't go to NAMM. I don't plan on going to NAMM either. It's a $3,000 round trip for videos people don't want to see, so I'm not going to waste my time. I'd like to go at some point just to check it out. You know what? I'd almost prefer to go to the smaller one in Nashville. I don't want to be... Nearly everyone that I hear that goes to NAMM can't stand how busy it is and how there's like lines for the toilets and... Yeah, that kind of environment's not really for me, man. I hate being around lots and lots of people. And even the Melbourne Guitar Show, is like probably 1/50th as big as NAMM. So it's tiny. Even that gets too busy for me. Once a place gets crowded, I'm like, I want to get out of here. So yeah, no NAMM coverage from my channel. I got offered to go there a couple of years last year for free. I had a free flight. I declined. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't see any value of doing those videos. There's so many people that do them. Some people that do them well, and then you got those videos you can't hear anything because the ambient noise level is so loud. It's just a waste of time for me. I don't enjoy that either. Really, like unless I don't know. It's not something for me. Ah, it's a solder joint, not a tube. Oh, there we go. Just be careful if you try to fix that on your own. That guitar reminds me of the Dan Electro. Yeah, it does a little bit. It's got that sort of interesting sort of shape going on. It's pretty cool. delay down, man. That's killing me. It's just way too much. What is this, the edge? How do we do that again? Oh, in terms of the gear, sorry, I didn't even answer your question. I just want to rant about how I'm not going to NAMM. I'm interested to see what Fender bring out. There's not a whole lot of stuff that I'm like dying to see. I think we pretty much have everything that we need now. I'm not interested really in seeing what pedals are coming out at all. You know, there may be to some extent with some of the inexpensive stuff. I like seeing both ends of the market, like seeing if there's something cheap that's great and see what it, you know, if anyone's releasing anything that really hasn't been done, which I highly doubt. So, yeah, there we go. T-Tone's name is Jason. That's easier to remember. Michael says, Shane, hello from Ohio. Enjoy your video with your band. Tight set. Thanks, man. That was all improvised. Like, we started. That's how that went. Start a feel and go. And that was the idea, to try to keep it like a jam. So thanks. It makes everybody listen more when they don't know what's happening. Because if you play a song that everyone knows, everyone wants to put what they know about the song in. But when you're improvising, you tend to respond more to what's going on around you as opposed to playing the parts. And it really had a lot of space, you know, for 2 or 3 guitars. There was not a lot going on, and I think that's why it worked so well. It was really cool. You could see, like, that, you know, in a way, that's an example of how to compliment another guitarist was not overplay. I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to fill every waking moment. I rant about that a bit, but it's true, man. I see it every Sunday. There's guys that overplay rhythm guitar 50%, 70%, just way too busy. And it's tough, man. It's really tough to play. So it was great having those guys in and being able to, you know that they're not going to do that as well. And same for myself. Hey Shane, here from Boston, fan of the Harley Benton, bought the PRS and Strat combo. Love the channel. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You can't go wrong with the PRS. That's pretty sweet. Awesome stuff. The Strat combo. Is that the... do you mean you bought the Harley Benton Strat? Is that what that means? Or you bought the PRS SE? I'm not too sure what that means. But yeah, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Every band I'm in ends up becoming their... I end up becoming their guitar tech. That's funny. The Cargill guys local to me in Melbourne are great for guitar setups. Yeah, not anymore. That's who butchered my nut on my tally. I've found them highly unreliable time-wise as well. You know, like trying to get a job done on time. There were people, I used to go there all the time. I'm not going back. It took nearly 3 weeks to get that fixed. It should have taken, he said, I'll come back Friday. I came back Friday. It wasn't even started. I think they're overworked. Don't have enough staff. So stuff's getting kind of half-assed. A year ago, it was awesome. I don't know. I don't think I'll go back. They did a good job on my frets, but to not even finish the nut properly on the tally and leave it sharp on every side was just it's just not good. To charge what they charged for that, it was a half-assed job, and it took 2 weeks longer than it should have. So there were I could tell there were people calling up saying, "Oh, where's this? Oh yeah, I've been meaning to call you." And someone would come in, "Oh yeah, I've been meaning to call you," and I was like, "Oh, you guys have got a backlog like nothing else." And that's good for them. They got a lot of business, but yeah, I don't know if I'll be going back yet. I'll see how I go. It's not a huge deal, but to take 2 weeks longer than the ETA was not very cool. Have I sold the Supro yet? I did sell it. It went a guy from an Italian guy who lived in New York, who's moved to Australia with his wife. He picked it up, so I took it down. I met him at one of the train stations here, and we exchanged it off, and yeah, he was wrapped. It's a beautiful guitar. It just wasn't getting used, Like I've got a few guitars similar. Like I got my Strat, I got my SX and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't really need another 3 pickup guitar. I think it's beautiful. You know, I'd look at it and I go, man, this is a stunning guitar. I just never really reached for it a lot. So like I said, I'm not into sort of hoarding stuff. I've got way more stuff than I'd like right now too. So I think early in the new year, I'm going to have to start doing something about that because, you know, my rule is if I can fit all my guitars in the cupboard, I'm happy. Once they start sort of acquiring space under the bed or whatever it means, I got too many things. And yeah, I'm not. I try to keep the stuff that, yeah. There's a few things I keep for the channel, but I nearly everything I own, like I'd say 8 out of 10 things I own are for things that I use when I play live. They're not just space fillers or background items. You know, like the other night I took the Fender Blues Deluxe out. You can see it's got the, oh, you can't see it, but it's behind me here. It's got the case on it because I actually took it out and played it. You know, and I got my other amp here, the Studio Pro. It's not at the back because I use it. So there's things that there's not a lot of stuff in terms of amps that I keep just for the channel. But I think the ones that I'm keeping probably on the most part for pairing with inexpensive pedal videos to some extent would be the Joyo amps, but I love them anyway. So, and they don't take up much space. It's the floor fillers. They're the things that I don't like having too much of. So I have a feeling I'll probably be selling off some more guitars that I've purchased because I don't need them all. You know, the Harley Benton or Toman are going to be sending out, I think, a couple more guitars, which means, like, what am I going to do with all of these? We might do a giveaway or something as well. I don't know. They're lefties though. That's the thing. We'll see how we go. I don't like just having too many guitars. It's just not the way I go. Stop No Name says in relation to the comments about the jamming situation, the happy strummers. Yeah. Too loud, too busy, unnecessary. Hey Zach, how are you, man? Welcome. What are my thoughts on tallies with humbuckers in the neck? Mixed. You know, one of my good friends has one, and I think it can it depends on the pickup. That's what it really comes down to. Some of the thin line tallies I've heard, to be honest, I don't really like the neck pickup. I think it sounds way too woolly. I've heard other tallies, like the custom shop stuff, that have a really bright neck pickup, and I think that's almost what it requires in some guitars to give it that sort of sting. But I like that combination. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Either having dual humbuckers or having a humbucker in a single coil, nothing wrong with that at all. I trust my ears when it comes to that stuff. I'd play it and play a couple of these notes. See if you can get that attack on the note, on the sting. If it doesn't have it, move on. Oh, hang on. Wow. Far out, the chat's flying along here. Cass, welcome. How you doing? Thanks for all the support this year as well. I do appreciate it. I know I've said that already, but yeah, thanks for being a big supporter of the channel. Let me move this over. I'm way behind on the chat, so hang in there. I'll scan over here. Is that a Toxic Avenger or the Elephant Man behind you? Ah, all right. So I don't know if you know, but here, this is a photo of an Italian horror movie DVD cover, or movie poster, I guess, called Zombie. It's got about 3 different names. It was the unofficial sequel to Night of the Living Dead, believe it or not. So it was so like wrong, you know, on many levels. But it's a Lucia Fulci Italian horror movie. If you're into horror movies and you've never seen that, or never seen Italian horror movies, they're cheesy, but they've got some of the best makeup effects of all time, and they're gross. Like there's, you know, one of the most iconic eye gouging scenes is in that movie, and it makes you cringe, man. I don't care if yeah, it's just horrible. So it's a zombie movie set on like a tropical island, and in New York City to some extent as well, filmed illegally over there. But I love it. You know, they get all these actors from different of different nationalities, whoever signs up, and they were all speaking their native tongue. So at the end of the movie, at the end of filming, I should say, all the post-production stuff, they redo all the voices in different languages. So the sync's always out on the voice, but you know, it's a classic. So that's how am I going to get out of the way of this? I'm just going to have to move. There you go. So yeah, Zombie, check it out. You can't miss it. Just look for that picture. You'll be good to go. I'm a big fan. Also above me here is I think it's this one, is Fright Night, which is one of my favorite 80s comedy horrors of all time. Maybe could be in my top 5 movies of all time. I love it. Can you speak about singing a bit? How'd you approach singing? I just jumped into it, man. I jumped into it. I went into it with no lessons. I probably should have had lessons. Much in the same way I learned how to do anything. You know, like I'll try, and then if it'll suck, and then I'll get some constructive feedback from people, and some of it's valid and some wasn't, and then I guess it's a confidence thing more than it is anything. It's probably like more personal than playing guitar. You know, you can play guitar in front of people, but when you're singing, it's a different thing. And I'm not a strong singer. I don't, you know, I'm not saying that at all. It's taken years to get it even where it is now, and I found my comfort zone, and I stuck with it for too long. But now I'm trying to do more with my singing. And I think it's starting to show a little bit. I'm hearing different ideas and melodies, and not melodies so much. With blues melodies are a bit weird, but I'm trying to at least now sing the lines as they're maybe recorded or I've heard them, as opposed to singing them the way I was doing it. And I think that kind of held me back. Like there was that sort of slow blues I've been doing that. There's like a "Well, I feel so bad." I don't know what key I'm in B. I wonder what's wrong with me. I never really used to follow the vocal melody much, and I would encourage anyone who's trying to sing, try to copy the melody in blues. The hard part about it is, you know, if you're playing dominant chords, right, it's really easy just to sit on, "Hey, I feel so bad," you know, follow the sort of chord changes like that. But if you're singing the melody lines, it sounds way more dynamic, and it's an obvious thing, but you know, I didn't do that for a long time. So one of my friends, Brian's brutal when it comes to honesty. I like it. It sometimes demoralizes me, and other times it really makes me improve. And like guitar playing, you listen to the things that inspires you to play. I listen to Chris Kane here. In the car, I've got that on, his live stuff on most of the time, and that's where I'm starting to hear these melody lines tie in with the chord changes. I can't do a lot of it, right? But you know, in my own way, I'm starting to understand that more, and then trusting myself, and also trying to sing with a little bit of conviction, which was something that, you know, I used to always just sort of sit back and go, yeah, yeah. You know, now it's like, yeah, you know, you can kind of try to belt something out a little more. You got to put a little bit of conviction into it. And I also say the same thing about guitar playing. Play with conviction. You know, don't just noodle or, you know, do something that says something, you know. You want to be definitive. So that's my 2 cents on that. Like I said, I'm not a strong singer, but it has improved, especially in the last few months. I've noticed, like, oh, I'm starting to get it again. You know, I'm starting to improve. Whereas I went through this flat period for a while where I didn't really trust my vocal. Now I'm a lot more relaxed about it. Did you surf at the beach? I haven't surfed in a while. I actually hurt my back surfing. That's what got me into playing guitar. But I have done it a few times. I used to go bodyboarding a lot. And last time I stood up surfed was on a mall in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Small waves. It was a perfect day for it. It was great. Are all of my guitars Lefty? Yeah, they are. And the reason they're Lefties is so I don't knock the volume control every time I try to play. I've tried switching a guitar up once, and all I was doing was turning the volume down or the tone controls down. It's horrible. All right, wow. All right, sorry guys. Let me just move this down. My New Year's resolution is not to spend any more money on guitars until I get better at playing. That's a good thing to do. You know, I think the justification for buying new stuff is that it will remotivate you to want to play. And that works, and then it doesn't. So you've got to kind of find the motivation from playing and listening to stuff that inspires you to want to learn. I think it's important to have different sounds as well, to some extent. Like if you're a 335 fan and you've got a Strat, you might not be getting the most out of your, inspiration that way. So it's good to have a couple of different sounds, but you don't really need to go overboard. And like you can see behind me, I've got a couple of tallies. I always just think you only really need one of each, given they got different pickups and whatever. I'm probably not going to be buying another guitar that I've already got unless I sell one. What I mean by that is if I ever bought another Telecaster, I'd flip this. But I love that guitar too much that I don't want to sell it. So for me, buying another one really isn't an option. I did buy the SX, but I bought that because it was a cheap guitar. It cost me nothing. But you know what I mean. I'm not going to go buy a second 335 and keep one and not play it. Like I mentioned before, I'm not into that. Daniel says, better go grab some lunch. Catch you up the cricket before heading out this afternoon. Glad I could catch a live stream. Thanks, man. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate that. Have a good day. What time is it? Oh, it's 1:30, man. How long have I been going? I lose track of these things. It feels like half an hour, and then I look and it's been going for an hour and 22 minutes. Wow. All right. Is it chaotic? Oh, chaotic, I guess that's pronounced. Says that my wife said no mo guitars. Yeah, I don't have that problem. All right. Yeah, singing maybe a video on how to with mics, cables, amps, settings, etc. I've been plugging a mic into the spare channel on a guitar amp. Some folks tell me that's not ideal. Oh, look, on a transistor amp, you might be able to get away with that, but it's never going to sound as good as like a powered PA speaker. That's the way to go, in my opinion. It saves you having to buy a lot of extra stuff. I don't think I'm a good enough singer to be doing tutorial videos on it. I really don't. I don't feel anywhere like I could give people concepts on it, but there's people that can just sing. And for where I'm at now, I've still had to work at it a fair bit. I could work at it harder than I do now. And I've been working on it a little bit. I think it's shown in, like, some of that stuff I was singing on the live clip was pretty good. Some of it was terrible too, so we did cut out some stuff. I started in the wrong key or forgot the words or whatever, but, there's moments where I sort of always find like, yeah, singing's a less consistent thing for me than playing guitar live, but it's starting to balance out a little bit more. What size strings do I play? I used to play 11 to 49s on everything, but I'm back to 10 to 46. There's a couple of these guitars that have 11s on them, but my Strat's got 11s. What else has got 11s? The Raven. I think the Little Crow guitars have 11s. Everything else is 10s at the moment, except for this. This has got 11s as well. So I'm kind of getting my way through the rest of the 11s, and then I'm going to go down to 10s. I don't think there's an appreciable tone difference, and I like the fluidity on the lighter strings a little more, and you can get plenty of bite and sting and all that out of 10s. Yeah, I just kind of prefer that now. I don't know if I'll stick to 11s at all. I used to play 12s at one point, which was crazy. Standard tuning, it was brutal. Rick's asking what guitar this is. This is the Pure Salem guitars. This is the Mendiola. It's a pretty cool guitar. I did a video on this a couple of weeks back, a couple of months ago, maybe now, I don't know. Tommy Duke says Clapton had to learn how to sing blues and now he's great at it. I reckon Clapton's got one of the best vocals around. I reckon his vocals is just overtook his guitar playing. You know, I loved his guitar playing for years, but his vocal is, he's awesome, man. The guy's got great vibrato. He's got a great lower registry. He can sing high. He's got a lot of like feel in his vocal as well. I love it. I mean, I like his guitar playing, but I don't like it as much as I used to. Obviously, he's getting older too now, but my favorite album of his of all time is From the Cradle. It's just unbelievably good, and that's where I pinched a lot of my licks. And great phrasing and all that kind of stuff. All of it's good. Matty K, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Play some Black Sabbath. I don't know any Black Sabbath, man. I have no idea about any of that stuff. Let me just go through here. Singing and playing guitar or the drums at the same time is harder than it looks. Absolutely. So I've sung and played drums a few times. It does require the mic position to be really good, especially on drums. And it also requires a lot of independence. It's a really good... Even just try talk and play at the same time on guitar, right? It's not as easy as people think. Gotta stop playing that bend. My noise gate kicked in. Hear that? A lot of people ask, how do I get rid of that buzz? Run a noise gate. It's awesome. Might wrap this up pretty soon. If anyone's got any last minute questions, feel free to let us know. Hope everyone has a happy new year, safe new year, all that kind of stuff. And if you're traveling or whatever, be safe. I'm probably going to do some playing this New Year's Eve. We're in the organisation process of that, so we'll see how that comes through. We're running out of time, but yeah, I don't know what we're going to be playing, but it should be fun. So Rick and the boys are organising something. How do I feel about what? Polix. I don't know what that is. Had to get a scotch. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. So Aaron asks thoughts on a humbucker neck tally. Yeah, I answered that before, I'm pretty sure. So just scroll back a few minutes. You might have missed it. Man, there's some crazy comments today. So anyway, guys, have a great day, have a great evening, wherever you are. Have a happy new year. Be safe, and yeah, we'll catch you. I think I got one last video coming up. Nothing flash before the end of the year, but this will be definitely the last live stream. So thanks everybody who contributed to the channel over the last 12 months. It's great having everybody on board. The channel's grown a lot. You know, it's slow and steady, my channel, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. It doesn't grow at the rate some of these other channels do, but I'm hoping I at least give a little bit of a different perspective on how some of this stuff works and how to apply it to actually, you know, if you're a musician or if you play out. You know, a lot of the bedroom guys don't really, I don't know, man. It's an interesting thing, YouTube advice. People don't play out live, and you do. Don't ask them for don't ask them for advice. It's not a good way to spend your money. So I appreciate everybody for hanging around and being a part of the channel and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm going to open the windows and sweat less. All right, guys, rock on. Have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one, and I'll see you live in the next year, I guess now. So we'll do it that way. And next weekend, Guitar Search Saturday. I say this a lot, but I think most people will love this next door. It is insane. 3 levels of some of the best stuff you've ever seen. So yeah, take care, guys. Thanks again, and I will catch you soon.